I got into an argument a little while back with a coworker about the difference between mind and body. He believed there was no distinction, that they were one thing, and any distinction made between them was implied to be a complete waste of energy. I agreed, but only to an extent, and I kept questioning him because he refused to even entertain the notion of something called a mind, independent of body and brain. Mind to him was just a byproduct of the brain's activity. In a way, I still agreed, but only to an extent, and kept pushing the subject. I asked him, "What would you call the substance that thoughts, images, and dreams appear on? It's not flesh, it's not bone, it's not blood, it's not gray matter, is it?" I was trying to help him see that the mind must have some kind of independence from the body and the brain, at least experientially. After that question, he went back to focusing on work, to avoid further interrogation, I assume, which was completely fine. I'm a little much at times, and it really wasn't the proper setting for such a debate. Nonetheless, that conversation really helped me understand something. It revealed to me the divide in perspective between materialists and non-materialists. He believed in matter first, while body, brain, and mind were derived from that matter. While I believed in mind first, body, brain, and matter all being derived from it. More accurately, I see consciousness first, but I will explain the distinction between mind and consciousness in another video. It's worth noting here that my coworker is far more extroverted of a person than I am. Extroverted people tend to send the mind outwards, towards the world, to interact with, explore, and experience as much as possible. I, on the other hand, tend to be more introverted, and can tell you from experience that we tend to send the mind inwards. But introverted and extroverted states, like 99% of the things in our lives, are conditioned, liable to change over time, or never even become a thing we consider, therefore never existing in our field of awareness. In this way, the difference between us was really non-existent. We were both correct in our way of seeing, albeit from different angles. If you've ever heard of the elephant in the dark room experiment, I think it might be relevant here, so let me explain. 3 men are placed in a dark room and asked to identify an object with their available senses. The object is an elephant, but they don't know that. One man grabs the tail and decides the object must be a broom. The other touches a leg and decides it must be a tree trunk. And the third grabs a tusk or something and decides it's something else. You get the point. Because of the immense size of the thing being investigated, and the finite limitations of these men's senses, they each were only able to investigate one small section of the dark mystery at a time, which caused a few inaccuracies, we could say. This is how I now see the divide in perspective between my coworker and I. We were both investigating the same experience, just from completely different perspectives. Perspectives that are not right or wrong, any more than one side of a coin can be wrong and the other right, or up can be bad and down can be good. In the grand scheme of things, there is no right and there is no wrong, there is no good and there is no evil. These are just inventions of man, assigned to things in the world by the very mind we're speaking about. There is only perspective conditioned by experience. Using this logic, I saw my coworker as having grown up in a modern materialist paradigm, and so the way he saw the world simply didn't reflect what I saw. I had been exposed to Eastern philosophies almost my entire life, which allowed me to wiggle out of that dominant paradigm and find a new one. Not a right one or a wrong one, just different. It worked better for me, I should say. He was right that mind and body are fundamentally one experience. It's not like you can have one without the other. Even when we dream, we create a dream body as a focal point for our awareness. To perceive objects and worlds, there must be a subject. They are intimately one experience, like mind and body. This is the reason why I lean towards the probability of matter being created from mind, rather than vice versa. Think of a dream. When we are dreaming, we create a dream world, and at the same time create a dream body to navigate that world. When I look at my hands in the dream, all I'm really looking at is a projection of my own mind. Likewise, when I touch something in the dream world, I am really just touching whatever substance the mind is composed of. With this, we know from direct experience that the mind is capable of rendering hyper-realistic environments. Do dreams not feel just as real when they're happening as real life does? For all we know, this apparent world of objective matter is just another dream, and we, as self-assumed characters within it, are just walking around experiencing the insides of our own minds. When I speak with a dream character, am I not just speaking with a character of my own mental making? In what space are these worlds and characters appearing? From my perspective, they are appearing within the conscious space we call mind. Their validity is often overlooked because of their subjective nature, but this does not make them unreal experiences. They are simply first-person experiences, subjective perspectives within a shared, apparently objective reality. In other words, our subjective experiences can only be experienced by others objectively. For example, I hear sounds. You see ears and a network of ear canals that interpret vibration. I experience the sense of touch. You see and feel skin, aka matter. If I were hooked up to an EKG, my eating a pie and experiencing a dopaminergic rush of happiness would for you be experienced by lines on a graph, or the lighting up of parts of my brain on a screen. I see a world of colors and forms. You see two round organic camera balls nestled in the middle of my face. Mind and body are inseparable. One cannot exist without the other. We will go into why this is in the next video, but for now I want to leave you with a question to ponder. If mind and body are two sides of the same coin, who is the one seeing this coin? If we take the perspective of seeing the world I just laid out in opposition to my coworker's materialist model, we see that, like matter, mind is something experienced. It's not objective in the sense that everyone else can experience it together with you equally, but it does have objective qualities. It can be described objectively. Therefore, it is an object of perception. If I perceive physical objects in the same space of awareness that I perceive my hands, aka body, and we just established that mind and body are one, my mind must also appear in the same space as my body, and therefore appears in the same space as physical matter. In other words, all experience is one. The question is, who is the experiencer?